My name is Mr. K. Sardonicus, and welcome to my Vault of Horror. Thank you to everyone who is returning, and welcome everybody that is now just joining, and I hope you enjoy your stay. Today, we are going to do a list again, but this time we're going to do a top 5 this time. We are going to tackle my top 5 horror directors. So, without further ado, let's get into the intro. Now, before we get into this, I would like you guys to please like, share, subscribe to this channel for new content every month. Sometimes, I have other things I need to do, so I gotta focus on, because I have multiple platforms that I'm on. So sometimes you'll maybe get like 2 videos a month, or maybe 3. It depends. But before we get into this list, let me just let you know that, and I'm sure many of you know, that these picks of horror directors, they have done more than just horror. But the main thing that they've done throughout their careers is direct horror movies. So you'll understand when I get to the list. So anyway, without further ado, let's get into this list.
That is Fulci is old and sick.
Yeah.
And Clive Barker rest one moment stupefied of this. I answer to Mr. Hackers that is.
At number 5, we have the Italian horror movie meister, Lucio Fulci. Otherwise known as the Godfather of Gore, he's been doing films since, I believe, the late 60s. Hi, baby. But it wasn't really until the 70s and 80s and the 90s that he got into making like giallo and different like types of horror movies. He does so much more than just giallo slashers, although he does do quite a few of them. But he is famous for Zombie, also known as Zombie Flesh Eaters or Zombie 2. He's done New York Ripper, which is a really good favorite of mine, which really gets under my skin. He did The Psychic. He did the Gates of Hell trilogy, which is City of the Living Dead, The Beyond, and House by the Cemetery. He's done so many other movies that I could recommend. And honestly, I think one of his most underrated was Two Evil Eyes. No. He didn't do Two Evil Eyes. But he did do his version of The Black Cat by Edgar Allan Poe. And it was fantastic, despite not being anything like the story. Seriously, Lucio Fulci is responsible for some of the most nastiest scenes in horror history. And one thing that horror fans know about Lucio Fulci is that he has a thing for eyeballs. And he gets creative with the eyeball trauma in his films. If there's anybody that you can count on to do a fantastic eyeball scene, it is definitely Lucio Fulci. And Lucio Fulci is literally my favorite Italian horror director, but there are 4 more that I like just a bit more, and that's why Lucio Fulci is on my number 5.
That's an effect shot with a panorama, and the fog was put in later. There's Adrienne warning the city through her radio station that the evil is about to come.
Okay, at number 4. Now, like I said before, well, I don't think I said this before, but this is my personal list. Just because this director's at number 4 doesn't mean I like his work any less. It's just I like some more of his work than others. And that's why number 4 is John Carpenter. John Carpenter is legendary, okay? Let's just knock that out right quick, okay? He did the original Halloween. He's the one that brought Michael Myers into the zeitgeist. He's done fantastic films. He remade the Thing from Another World and made it an even better story than the original film, and did it justice to the short story. He's got his the rest of his Apocalypse trilogy alongside The Thing. There was They Live, which is a legendary horror comedy that I absolutely love. And then, he had Prince of Darkness, and that was just incredible. It was incredible. I can't get enough of it. In the Mouth of Madness is another fantastic film of his. I think that one of his most underrated films was his 90s remake of Village of the Damned. Because, man, I grew up with that one. I was a kid when that came out, and I remember seeing it advertised everywhere. We had a movie store that had the poster, like, right when we fucking walked into the movie store. And I rented that thing. I loved it. And I love the original, too. Don't get me wrong. But I was introduced to that movie by John Carpenter. And John Carpenter's done a lot of great stuff. I mean, he does his own music for most of his films. Almost all his films have him doing the music. And he's done music for other people's films as well. He is a talented guy all around. He knows what he's doing. Honestly, I understand what he says when he says that he doesn't want to direct anymore. But man, I wish he would come back to the director's chair again, because man, I miss his work. He does great stuff, even if he has a small budget. Like another one of his underrated films was his movie Vampires. I love that movie. I seriously think that John Carpenter deserves a lot of respect. Some movies I like more than others from his filmography, but he's still worth being on my top 5 list as number 4.
Which, my first question to you is, which guy are you?
Both.
Both.
I mean, both in the sense that I am aware of the brutal side of the world, but I am a guy that loves to dream and imagine and so forth. I mean, I'm not by any far involved in hate.
At number 3, this is a legendary director. He's won many awards, including an Oscar. And, I mean, he's absolutely incredible in imaginative mind. I can't give this guy enough credit for what he's done. And this is the Spanish horror film director, Guillermo del Toro. Guillermo del Toro is one of those directors that I didn't get to appreciate until I was a teenager. When I was in high school having after-school film classes, we were able to watch a whole bunch of different movies back then. And I remember being introduced to Guillermo del Toro's film Cronos, which was actually his feature film, his debut film. And I loved it. I loved the originality of the vampire lore that it has. And then I was lucky enough to see the rest of his filmography. Pan's Labyrinth is a masterpiece. Blade 2 is a fantastic sequel to the first Blade. He's done Crimson Peak, which I think is a fantastic gothic romance with horror elements. Mimic, despite him not enjoying making that film, is absolutely phenomenal. Devil's Backbone is fantastic. I love that film. And all the movies that he's produced, like The Orphanage and the remake of Don't Be Afraid of the Dark, it's just fantastic. I mean, including his anthology series that he did, The Cabinet of Curiosities, on Netflix. It's fucking phenomenal what he does. And I'm looking forward to his remake of Frankenstein coming later this year. So stay fucking tuned for that, because I'm going to be reviewing that on YouTube, because this is going to be a big fucking deal for me. Guillermo del Toro is a mastermind of the macabre. And don't forget that he made the best Hellraiser non-trilogy. We wanted that trilogy, but unfortunately we're never able to get it. But we got 2 great Hellboy movies thanks to him. And I will never not be grateful that we at least got 2 of the 3 movies he planned on making. Guillermo del Toro is literally one of my favorite directors of all time, but there's still 2 more, but this is he's definitely worth being at the top 3.
I was rebounding from a year of doing scripts, rewrites of Total Recall, which was a project that I loved.
And at number 2, I gotta give it to the master of body horror, the guy that brought us Brundlefly, Shivers, and so many more movies that I could name, and as well as some fantastic movies that aren't even horror, like A History of Violence and Eastern Promises. I am talking about the man, the myth, the legend, David Cronenberg. David Cronenberg, I grew up with this shit, and honestly, my favorite film of his is Shivers, and that's his debut film. He was able to create something so twisted and imaginative with such a low budget, and I loved it. And then, you know, then I'm gonna go back to the stories of my after-school film classes. I saw The Brood in that class, his remake of The Fly, I saw Rabid, and then I saw History of Violence and Eastern Promises. I saw 5 David Cronenberg films in that class, and I've been a fan of his ever since. Videodrome, I believe, is only known by the ultimate horror fans that know how to just dive deep into some really grotesque shit. I mean it. He pulls no punches. And I also love his adaptation of the book Naked Lunch, which I think is an underrated entry in his filmography, because Naked Lunch is one of those just fantastic mindfuck movies that will make you question your sanity and definitely make you squirm. Believe me when I say that David Cronenberg deserves to be at number 2 for me. Honestly, what he creates is absolutely mind-boggling. On top of the fact that he's a great actor too. Like, he was Dr. Decker in Nightbreed. And I don't think anybody could top his acting skills when it came to playing that character, because he fucking nailed it. That was incredible. And the fact that we get more goodness from him in the Cabal cut of Nightbreed, which I definitely recommend. If you're going to watch Nightbreed, watch the Cabal cut. Check it out, find it physically, support Clive Barker's original work and cut of that film. But going back to David Cronenberg, he's absolutely incredible at what he does. And I think that he deserves this number 2 spot, because I absolutely adore what I got to see, especially in film class back when I was in high school.
First monster that must frighten the audience in a horror film is the filmmaker himself. My whole career I made films that your parents warned you against, and people say, he must live in a cave.
At number 1. Now, I'm sure y'all would understand why that he's at number 1, because he created my favorite 80s slasher villain, and he has created so many fantastic films that not a lot of people notice. And I'm talking about the creator of Freddy Krueger himself, Wes Craven. Wes Craven gave me two of my all-time favorite horror movies ever. And that is Wes Craven's New Nightmare and his 80s film, The Serpent and the Rainbow. And everything else that pretty much he's touched, whether it's produced or directed, I've kind of enjoyed. Other than the Carnival of Souls remake from the 90s, but we don't talk about that. But he is so legendary for what he's done. I mean, he created the first 4 Scream movies, which were actually very entertaining and good, despite Scream 3 kind of dropping the ball in the middle of it. But no, like, he created Freddy Krueger. I love Freddy Krueger. Freddy Krueger's my favorite horror villain. And, the fact that I share the same birthday as Robert Englund just makes it even cooler. Wes Craven has done so many legendary movies. And a lot of them are underrated, and only, like, the true horror fans know what I'm talking about. Like, he directed Deadly Friend. Only true horror fans know about Deadly Friend. He did Shocker. Nobody knows about Shocker except the people like us who are huge horror fans. He directed another film. I forget what it was called. Before I Wake. Before I Wake, I believe it. No, My Soul to Take. My Soul to Take. He did that film, and I think that's a very underrated film. Seriously, he's done a lot of underrated films that don't get enough love. And yeah, The Serpent and the Rainbow is another one of them that never gets enough credit, because that is such a legendary film. And he was able to do a meta horror film twice. He did New Nightmare and then he did Scream. So he already nailed it twice. So I believe that he really is my all-time favorite horror movie director. Because he brought me so much joy when it came to the horror genre. And let's not forget the things that he produced, like Wishmaster. Wishmaster is the main one that I would definitely suggest, because it is so good. But yeah, like, it's no wonder that Wes Craven's #1, man. There's a lot of people that probably defend my decision at #1. But yes, there's so many more reasons, and I will definitely be doing a list on all 5 of these directors real soon, and we'll probably do like a top 5 again of my favorite movies from each of these directors in the near future. But like, seriously, Wes Craven is fantastic, and there are so many reasons for him to be #1, and I hope y'all would understand that completely. And that is it, everyone. What are your guys' favorite horror directors? Do you agree with my list? Do you agree with what I'm talking about with defending these directors and why they're in my top 5? Let me know in the comments below. Like I said, I'm going to be doing lists of my favorite movies of all of these directors in the near future. So stay tuned for that, because that's definitely going to be a big one in the near future. I'm still going to be going to the Oklahoma City Horror Convention July 19th. So if you see me there, I'll be in this getup. So you'll see me. If you see me, say hello, or, I'm looking forward to having so many new fans that are gonna be, like, entering my house of horror, my vault of horror, and I seriously think that y'all are amazing. Thank you so much for supporting me for so long. I know I've only been doing this for a few months, but I'm almost to 100 subscribers. Maybe like 15, 16 more subscribers, and I'm at 100 subscribers. Please, let's get to there before July 19th. Because I would love to show all the amazing stuff that I'm going to have happen during that time. And believe me, there's a lot of stuff that's going to be happening in the near future. And I'm going to have some free time in July. So I will be making more videos. Things are going to happen. Things are going to get rolling. It's just I got multiple platforms that I'm on that I do exclusive content for. So, you know, and then on top of the movie reviews that I do on other platforms as well, you know, it gets kind of, you know, overwhelming. So I try and make time for everything and every one of my fans, you know, and I also try to be considerate towards my camera woman and what her life has going on. So I just try and be understanding to everyone. Eventually, I'm going to try and hire a second camera person. But for right now, the person that I have is very trustworthy. And she's family. So, you know, I try to work with her schedule. So like I said, these videos will usually be up late Saturday night. And I usually record these Thursday or Friday afternoon or evening or even in the morning. So you'll get my videos around Saturday at 10 p.m. Central Time every time. Don't worry. This last time was because of a power outage. It completely put the entire apartment complex out of power. So it took a little bit more time for me to get the last video up. So just be aware that sometimes things happen, and I appreciate you guys understanding. But anyways, that's all I got for all of you this evening. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Share this with your friends, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.